Okay, so great. We just bring up passion one more time. And then I think we need to bring up hiding and climb for Netta's adventure. So we'll work on that, but it doesn't have to be a focus because it's a bit ways off. Alright. So yeah, Friday, 10 class, and study. Should be good. You feel ready to doze off in the classroom when a terrible crash awakens your attention. A goblin has jumped through the window, and odder than that is being chased by a fairy. You have to admit, with a wicked looking sewing needle and a glint in her eyes, the fairy is looking pretty formidable for her size. Immediately, the class is thrown into an uproar. Observation: search the professor's desk for something you can use as a bargaining chip. Courage, catch the fairy. Brute strength, catch the goblin. Observation all the way. You maneuver to the front of the room to check the professor's desk. Just as you thought, the instructor has a crystal paperweight. This is even better than a bauble. This crystal paperweight has been enchanted to hold power over monsters. The crystal paperweight will definitely be useful. Let's see what that gives us. Willpower. Use the crystal's power, or courage. Catch the fairy. I'm going to use courage. I think that's a better choice for our character. They're both blue anyway. You jump on top of your desk and lock the fairy into your gaze. Holding your hands at the ready, you time your movements perfectly and capture the fairy in two hands. She ferociously pricks your fingers, but you quickly move to release her outside the classroom. As a result, the goblin stops in its tracks and the professor scoots him out of the classroom, thus allowing him to sneak out of a different exit that's not under the fairy's radar. Quite frankly, that was handled very smoothly. Thanks mostly to you. Thanks 100% to me, in my opinion, but whatever. Oh, we can continue to bring up passion. Perfect. That will actually help a lot. We also brought up Volician, which is a language skill, and learned about Mercenary Guildhouse, which is a place that has the ability that will expand Volician, famous battles, logistics, and intrigue. Alright, could be useful. Tulula competed. Flawless timing got brought up. We've learned about Mana Orlan. So Prudence did not succeed at using practice music. Silk, Evelyn succeeded at using her familiar on herself. Netta succeeded at using birds and bees on herself, and this dude, Leopold. I'm just butchering names. That has been this whole Let's Play. I just butcher names. And the English language in general. Let's see. Melcresta, Casper. Yeah, that's everyone I don't care about. Alright, so it's the weekend. Guess we can bring up passion some more, so let's do it. So what we'll do is 2 study at the library of Longshades. We're going to use one of them for passion and the other one for hiding. There we go. And then we're going to go on an adventure. Double check my notes here. We should be good to do Evelyn's next one. Passion. Hiding is a spy skill. And finally, this next adventure is called The Horrors Within. And it's probably going to be green, so it's going to be harder to see. There we go. Alright, let's start the day. What's next? When Evelyn tells you the next area, you gasp. It's the restrooms. Ugh, really? Just the mere thoughts makes Evelyn want to go on a cleaning spree. What makes the bathroom at the Academagia so much worse is that, of course, there are magical elements to the restrooms here. Creatures that delight in mischief also delight in lurking in the room in which students are most vulnerable and exposed. Fix the bathrooms and you'll probably become heroes. Negation spells. Put a spell on the restroom to block the creatures. Seems simple enough. Our other options were oratory, see if you can gather an army. Wow. And carpentry, create animal filters in the pipes. Are the creatures coming through the pipes? Weird. So this was a weird one because, well, it's kind of a weird one because this is a pretty simple difficulty roll for negation is versus an 8, which oratory is versus is 15, and leadership is versus 9, which isn't even on here. And then there's carpentry, which is versus a 13. So it's weird that one of the skills, especially not hidden behind an observation roll, is quite low. But hey, negation's our specialty, so let's just take it. If they want to use magic, then so can you. You can't think why anyone wouldn't have used magic before now. This is, after all, a school of magic. Using your negation abilities, you manage to create a barrier over the bathroom that blocks out all the mischievous creatures, effectively sealing the bathrooms into a protective bubble that stops any magic from getting through. The creatures aren't happy about it, and neither are a few human tricksters who used to like casting spells to torment their peers. But at least students can use the bathrooms without fear. That's always a good thing. So Evelyn seems to be pretty simple, clean up the school. I'm curious if there will be a twist at some point. Okay, so we brought up passion, so it's at its maximum of 11, which is really good. We also brought up insects. Our hide went up by 1. Let's see, we learned the spell Shifting Passions, which adds shifted passions and increased chance of success. Okay. Some lore for insects. Realm of Disappearance, which is some lore for hide. A theme that increases conceal and sleight of hand. Learned about this lore for birds. And we've learned about air, which I think we've learned about in the past. Increases finesse, though. That could be useful. Let's see. You succeed at using the adventure. You embarked on the horrors within. Kurt Henning succeed at using hangout inside the college with himself and me. So that's cool. Kurt seems like a nice guy. He's from our college, right? Yep. So we're now level 5 relationship, which is good, I guess. And Duran's merit went up by 3 by Tallulah. Good for her. She does not give up. Which is a shame. She really should, because I'm pretty sure everyone else has given up. In our college, that is. Let's see. Netta did not succeed at using Work the Forge. Netta succeeded at using Flirt on herself. And this dude. Good for them. She's very flirty recently. Did not succeed at using Study. Melocrest Prudence. Did not succeed at Study. Succeed at using Pick a Fight on herself and this teacher, who is the glamour teacher. Fun. Using Delve into Heraldry. So that just expands that skill. Cool. Tabin, Silk, Lampert, and Casper. Alright, Sunday, so let me just double check passion. That's at its maximum. So let us start increasing hiding, and we're going to start increasing climbing. Those are 2 skills we're going to need for Netta's. You know what? I think we can just start Netta's adventure, because usually the first one is pretty much a gimme. So let's see. Hide is spy. Spy, hide. And then we're going to bring up climb, which is under explore. And Netta's first adventure is called The Object of Desire, I think. Let's see if we can find that. The Object of Desire. Perfect. Alright. So, hiding, climbing, and Netta's adventure. Gonna be a good Sunday. Now, I can't say her last name, so I'm just gonna say Netta. Netta approaches you with a slight hint of vection exuding from her pretty features. Not too far behind you, can see no less than half a dozen boys huddled together talking amongst themselves and glancing uh, in her direction. She casts a scathing look over her shoulder, but it does little to disperse the crowd. Heaving a sigh and flipping a mane of almost white hair over her thin shoulders, Netta's attention settles on you. So just a reminder, Netta, who is a part of our clique, and in college, Hetty. Boys follow Netta nearly everywhere she goes with a blind devotion. It's not exactly something she seems to try for. They just flock to her like Professor Evertree to anything that looks like it might melt in a hot enough cauldron. Rail thin with blonde hair that's almost white, it's not hard to see why they all find her so attractive. Is that really attractive? Whatever. But she's not so amazing that they should be so devoted to her. Wondering if something fishy is going on there. So maybe we learn about why boys like her so much. Also, why is she coming up to me? Freedom from the ooglers. Oglers. Ooglers? I don't know. Words. Netta's pale blue eyes lock onto yours, and you can tell by the determined look there that she has come to some sort of conclusion. I'm so glad I found you, she says, placing her hands on your arm lightly. I have to do something about all the boys following me. I just want some peace and quiet for once. You ask her why she doesn't just tell them to go away, and she winces slightly. If it were only that easy, she replies cryptically. Listen, if you want to help, I'll tell you more, but I am running late right now, and this gaggle, she waves a hand at the boys, isn't making things any easier. Please think it over. Does it just end there? No, it does not. After Netta asks for your help, she turns and tries to dart off without drawing the attention of the boys. No such luck. One of them points and the entire crew stampedes after her. Poor Netta. We can use befriend. No one should be hounded like Netta is at the moment you decide to help. Observation. Follow Netta and her entourage and keep your eyes open. Or ignore her request. Let's just see what observation gives us. Not liking the situation one tiny bit, you decide to assist your friend by finding a way to scare off Netta's amorous fan club. You follow her to the common room where she has finally given up and is sitting on the couch letting everyone admire her annoyed face. Her face, eh? Glamour themes, scare off her fans for the time being. Oh, that sounds more fun. Yeah, that sounds like more fun. Taking your wand out, you prepare a small glamour spell and wave the proper themes before casting it on her face. Immediately, she resembles a horror so inhuman that you instantly regret it. Barely containing your lunch at the sight of her, needless to say, the boys don't take too well to Netta's makeover and run off screaming into the halls. She furrows her geometrically impossible brow in confusion. What was that all about? Netta's new unvoiced asks. After you rather reluctantly explain the plan to Netta, you thought she'd be angry. Instead, she hugs you, and while you barely resist the urge to scream, she cries out, "You're a genius." After she lets go, she asks, "What do I look like anyway?" You make sure to look for a mirror just long enough for the spell to wear off. When she looks in it, she assumes that you just made her hair mussier. In relief, you decide to leave it at that. I think Netta's is going to be a fun one. Okay, so we brought up hide, which should be easy to bring up. And we've learned about chameleon, which is a theme, which gives us a +1 bonus to our hide skill. And it's difficulty level 2, so that's actually... that wouldn't be too hard to add a bunch of that to a spell. So that could be useful. We also increased our theory of astrology. Somehow that helps us hide. Learned about some lore, and we learned about fabricate, which increases incantation methods and incantation in general. So we also brought a climb. Oh, we need to use selective focus on climb. I should have paid more attention to that. My bad. You increase your theory of enchantment. And you've learned about Professor Leith's back office, which gives us that ability, and that expands a random enchantment. 2 random enchantments and a relationship with, I assume, the professor. Alright. Oh, Piccolo competed. Prudence did not succeed at anything today. Evelyn did not succeed at study, but succeeded at using compete. Don't care about Tavin. Malcrusta, Neda did not succeed at study or get ready for revision. And there's the others. And we don't have detention. That is wonderful.